What would you do if the woman you loved, the one you built a life with, was living a double life, a secret existence woven with lies and betrayal? I never thought I would be asking myself that question, not about Sarah. The night everything broke was a Tuesday, a mundane evening that spiraled into a nightmare. I was unpacking her gym bag, a small gesture of help after her late-night yoga class, when my fingers brushed against something soft, something that definitely wasn't a yoga mat. It was a men's hoodie, a dark gray one, folded neatly. And then another identical hoodie, tucked deeper inside. My blood ran cold. I pulled them out, holding them up, the fabric still warm. "Sarah," I called out, my voice a strained whisper, "why are there two matching hoodies in your gym bag?" She walked into the living room, her smile dissolving as her eyes landed on the gray fabric in my hands. Her face went stiff, a mask of panic replacing her usual calm. The air thickened, heavy with unspoken truths, and I knew with a sickening certainty that my world was about to shatter. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The silence that followed her stiff reaction was deafening, a chasm opening between us. She stammered, a flimsy excuse about a friend borrowing it, a story so transparent it was insulting. But I let it slide for a moment. I watched her, really watched her for the first time in years, and saw a stranger. The woman I married, the one who swore eternal love in a small chapel in Dallas, was gone. In her place was a calculating stranger, her eyes darting, her body language screaming guilt. At night, sleep was a cruel joke. I lay awake. The image of those two hoodies burned into my mind, a symbol of her deceit. The humiliation was a physical ache, a burning in my chest that threatened to consume me. Over the next few weeks, a chilling pattern emerged. Late-night texts she'd quickly dismiss, hushed phone calls she'd take in the other room, receipts for dinners at upscale restaurants I'd never been to, tucked away in her purse. Each discovery was a fresh stab, confirming the sickening truth. Sarah, once my vibrant, loving wife, became cold, distant, and manipulative. She'd gaslight me, twisting my observations into accusations of paranoia, making me question my own sanity. "You're imagining things, Mark," she'd say, her voice dripping with feigned concern. "You've been so stressed lately." Her affair partner, a man named Chad from her office, was a smug, arrogant type I'd seen once at a company picnic. He'd look at me with a knowing smirk, a silent challenge that fueled my growing rage. They felt untouchable, flaunting their affair with a brazen disregard for my feelings, for our shared life. I remember one particularly brutal evening, confronted her with a restaurant receipt, the date and time undeniable. She didn't even flinch. "So what, Mark?" "I had dinner with a colleague. Are you going to monitor my every move now?" Her words, sharp and dismissive, broke something inside me. I retreated to my study, the walls closing in, the weight of her betrayal crushing my spirit. I cried that night, a raw, guttural sound that tore through the quiet house. I was emotionally shattered, a shell of the man I once was. But amidst the despair, a cold, hard resolve began to form. They thought they had one. They thought they could walk all over me. They were wrong. My emotional breakdown was the catalyst. I stopped confronting her. I started observing. I became a ghost in my own home, watching, listening, meticulously gathering proof. I installed discreet cameras, tracked her phone, hired a private investigator. I learned about their secret rendezvous at the Grand Hyatt in downtown Chicago, their stolen moments in a secluded parking garage on Michigan Avenue, their whispered plans over coffee at the Daily Grind on State Street. Every text, every email, every photograph was a piece of the puzzle, building an undeniable case. I spent countless nights in my study, the glow of my laptop illuminating the damning evidence, my heart hardening with each new discovery. I wasn't just gathering proof for a divorce, I was building a weapon. With the evidence secured, I began to set my traps. I consulted with a ruthless divorce attorney, a woman known for her aggressive tactics in the Chicago legal scene. We meticulously planned every move, every legal maneuver designed to strip Sarah of everything she held dear. Simultaneously, I started subtly leaking information to mutual friends, planting seeds of doubt, letting the whispers begin. I created anonymous social media accounts, sharing snippets of their illicit affair, careful not to reveal my identity, but ensuring the truth would spread like wildfire. I wanted her reputation, her carefully constructed facade, to crumble. I wanted her to feel the same humiliation, the same public shame she had inflicted upon me. The public exposure was swift and brutal. The anonymous posts went viral, fueled by the outrage of our social circle. Photos of Sarah and Chad caught in compromising positions circulated online. The whispers turned into shouts, the judgment palpable. Then came the legal blow. My attorney filed for divorce, citing adultery and presenting the mountain of evidence I had painstakingly collected. The court proceedings were a spectacle, a public dismantling of Sarah's character. Her carefully crafted image as a devoted wife and successful professional shattered into a million pieces. She lost her job, her friends abandoned her, and her family, disgusted by her actions, turned their backs. Chad, the smug affair partner, was also implicated, his career suffering a similar fate. Sarah was completely ruined. I saw her once, months later, walking alone down a desolate street in Los Angeles, a city she had once dreamed of conquering. Her clothes were disheveled, her eyes hollow, a stark contrast to the vibrant woman I had married. She didn't see me, and I didn't approach. There was no triumph, no joy in her destruction, only a profound emptiness. The revenge was complete, but it left a bitter taste, a hollow victory. The silence of her ruined life echoed the silence in my own heart. The cost of her betrayal was everything for both of us. The end.